All right. The key is the balance. With all that Bayern do have, you're thinking that their opponents shouldn't trouble them.
Well, I mean, that is what you're going to see from the beginning of the season. But, I mean, in the season, it's a quite different kettle of fish for them. I mean, the way they played under Pep Guardiola is quite different from the way they play under Carlo Ancelotti.
They've been struggling.
They've been struggling. And they just said it has to do with balance. I mean, you have to be very balanced to concentrate 150% of the time to be able to, concentrate against the counter-attacks,
Yeah, a lot of people have said let's use unconventional means to get it. There are no rules against that anyway.
Well, when you use unconventional means, I mean, they're the kind of side that whenever they play, especially teams that you would say on paper are better than them, they try to soak in the pressure and they catch you on the counter. And that was exactly what Leicester City did last season. And
are struggling to deal with their physicality.
Exactly, their physicality and all that. And it has really turned out to be a good thing for them. And against Bayern Munich, they are saying that they are not going to be sitting back to try. They will try to play against Bayern Munich. I mean, their football director, Raven Ragnick, actually said the same thing too, that they want to make sure that they win that game against Bayern Munich. They are not even afraid of Bayern Munich. And of course, their coach, Ralf Hasenhüttl, said the same thing too. And you want to look at the fact that in the Bundesliga history, 9 teams have picked up more points than Bayern Munich, especially in the first 15 games or in the first half of the season. Now, 8 of those 9 teams have gone on to win the Bundesliga league and the league. So Leipzig want to make history. I mean, this is a side that was relatively unknown last season, and they want to make sure that they make history like that. So let's just see how it goes. Although if you ask me, I think Bayern Munich should be able to nip this one.
All right, let me quickly allow, before we leave football, because at this point we have to leave football. But that's the German Bundesliga fixtures. The last game for the season, and the winner of that game between Bayern and Leipzig will be the winter champions. It counts on nothing.
They call them the Help Masters.
It counts on nothing. They'll and of course, they always go for the winter break.
Exactly.
Unlike in the English Premier League, where there'll be games on Boxing Day. Cologne will take on Bayer Leverkusen. Hertha Berlin takes on Darmstadt. Hoffenheim takes on Werder Bremen, and of course, Ingolstadt will take on Freiburg. These are some of the matches.
And it's important to say that Hoffenheim is one of the 5 teams in Europe that have not lost any game. They are the only side in the Bundesliga that has not lost any game this season. I mean, against Borussia Dortmund, they actually drew. It was a 2-2 draw, and they have a very young coach, a 29-year-old coach, who knows his honors and is trying as much as possible to see if they can do what a certain Inter Milan did in 2004-2005 when they went unbeaten all of the season, but they had much more draws than wins.
All right, so well, let me just allow you to talk about Real Madrid before we leave football. It's good news for them. 2 transfer windows where they were not going to be able to buy players. Now is one, fine, reduced. And a lot of us thought it was going to affect them, but it really hasn't, because they're cruising in the league.
That's because they have a team balance. They have squad
without depth. Recruiting,
without
they find a way to promote from within.
Exactly. You get what I'm trying to say. They try as much as possible to go into their team Bs and all that, bringing players, and of course
Zidane has coached the team B,
exactly.
So he knows the players.
Knows the players. Is actually working hand in hand with the coaches of
Junior
the team B.
Coach,
We're talking about Fernando Hierro and others to make sure that they bring some of these players. In fact, his son, I'm talking about Zinedine Zidane,
Enzo.
His son is also part of the team as well. So I think it's a good one for them. It's a reduced one, so we should be seeing that, of course, in this next transfer, January, they're not going to be there. But in the summer transfer, that's in July and June, July, certainly they're going to be able to get those players. So they just need to hang in there till the end of the season, and they can bring in any player that they want.
Still talking about Real Madrid, I mean, I'd love to see if you can see their faces, the players. It's been a good year for them. 2016 has been good, not just good for Ronaldo, good for Real Madrid.
Certainly.
And they're probably going to end the year topping the Spanish La Liga.
Yeah.
They've had the FIFA Club World Cup. They had the Champions League. How much of an effect will not be able to buy players in January? How much of an effect will he have on them?
I mean, when it gets
If
to
they are
that,
this strong already.
when it gets to that time of the season, where a friend of mine calls it the squeaky bum time, where it is a very, very tough time where you have a whole lot of matches where, I mean, you have to be very at this high concentration to just make sure that you win games. When it gets to that point, it has a way of telling. But then Real Madrid is one of the few teams I know that has a team in depth. They have players that can be able to fit in. Yeah, they might be struggling right now. I mean, they're struggling, but at the same time, they're trying as much as possible to ground that result, despite the fact that important players are injured. But then, when these players come back in, and you still have some players that have not even really had play time this season, certainly those players will come in good for the team. They just need to hang in there till the summertime when they know that, okay, they can be able to get.
So it's not going to be much of a blow.
I don't think it's going to be much of a blow. I think they have the balance to be able to, weather the storm of this not the inability of not being able to get players.
All right, let's leave football and go to tennis. Well, it's not a good story for Petra Kvitova. She was injured in a knife attack at her home, and a lot of people are worried, is it going to affect, I mean, it's her playing hand, the hand she plays tennis with. She had 4 hours of treatment on that hand.
And she's going to be having surgery on that hand?
But she's saying she's okay. But it's a season where some of these tragic events do take place. Our own is not as serious as some of the things that have happened recently. But then again, it shows you that sportsmen and women are not immune from the things happening in the society.
I mean, exactly. They're always at the forefront of, I mean, they're popular. Everybody wants to, I mean, they are known, so they can't just walk on the streets. And this time around, a man visited her in the home, burgled her house, and of course she was trying to defend herself, and it has to do with the left hand. It's not life-threatening, but then it is career-threatening because it's a left hand.
A playing hand.
A playing hand, and she would not be in 2 major competitions. The competition that she was supposed to, although she actually pulled out of that competition
earlier
before she had this injury. And of course, the Grand Slam of the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open, it looks like, I mean, it's almost sure that she's not going to be there for that one. We just hope she recovers.
Gathers her strength, yeah.
Gathers her strength. But I like the fact that she's encouraged. I like the fact that, people, she's saying that she's going to come back. And of course, our spokesperson, Kara Tejkal, also said that she's trying as much as possible to come back to make sure that she can be able to compete.
I'm a bit worried because the last time somebody had something close to this, Martina Hingis, something like that, ended a career.
Yeah,
I'm hoping this will not be the end for Petra Kvitova, and of course she's going to recover well and be able to play without having to nurse any injuries. Well, let's talk about long-distance running now, and let's talk about Britain's Mo Farah. Well, he's been talking about going into the marathon. He has set his sights on the marathon, and knowing Mo Farah is achievable. The way he has changed his style for the 5,000, 10,000 meters just shows that if he puts his mind to it, it is achievable. So we listen to Mo Farah, his plans on running the marathon, when it's going to happen. Is it going to be this year or next year? So we'll listen to him. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight. Join us again.
Yeah, it's possible, it's possible to be able to, to do that, but it's not going to be easy. I'll definitely just give it a go in the 10K, and then after that we'll see what I can do in the 5K. But mainly, just, stay healthy and get to the start line. I want to do it. I believe, I have to learn about the event. I have to understand what it takes, and I'm good on the track, and it's taken me years to be able to, to get that out of myself. And the same thing on the road. It's nice to be able to, see what I can do on the road. I ran my first marathon with 2:08. Was okay, wasn't great. But to be able to mix with the guys, I need to run a lot faster than that. I believe, if you do get ready for it, it's possible, but I don't know how long it will take. I don't know if it's going to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But, everything, if you try hard, then it's possible. I've always said the same thing, and anyone who's crossed the line and, done something, then should be same. I want to be able to race against clean athlete, and anyone's crossed the line then should be banned for life. And I've always stood up by that. Yeah, for sure. Everyone is responsible in their own actions, and for me, I believe in clean sports, and countries can't. You have to set by examples, and I guess I want to race against clean athlete, and I want to be able to do, what we do in the UK. Other countries do exactly the same thing.